Good morning, everybody. So, I'll welcome you back to our image evaluation series that I started. Today, we are going to critique a wrist series. We do a lot of wrists here. It's a good idea to get to know what you need to see on a wrist x-ray. So, we're going to go through that today. So, let's start out here. Now, remember last time we introduced an acronym, Paceman. That's going to help us run through and critique the images that we look at. And we're going to use this format to do so. Just become familiar with this, just so you can look at your image and see if what you need to have on that image is there and it looks representable. So, all right, let's move on here. Okay, here we've got a right PA wrist. Okay, so positioning wise, it looks really good. I don't see a lot of rotation. You can see that the distance between the metacarpals here is pretty uniform. I don't think that we're rotated at all. I think it's a clear represented PA wrist. Area, yeah, we've got the area that we need. For a wrist, the rule of thumb is you want to include the metacarpal phalangeal joints right here, this row of your knuckle right here. So we want to include the metacarpals. We also want to include the carpal bones, right? And we also want to include a fourth to a third of the radius and ulna, which we have. So collimation, collimated very well. You can see a collimation line here and a collimation line here. And everything is fully represented. We're missing a little bit of the metacarpal of the thumb here. Again, not a big deal. But we could have collimated a little less tightly. But up and down wise, we're absolutely perfect. Very nice job collimating. So exposure, it's good. It looks a little bit on the dark side. Maybe we could have backed off on the mask a little bit. But all in all, the exposure is good. We've got pretty good definition between the soft tissue and the bone. We've got some sharp edges of the bone. I don't see any quantum model per se, or any noise in the image. So all in all, I think that's a good exposure. So marker, yep, there's a big old R there. That's a big marker. Now, if it were me, I'd probably place that marker down here, just so we're not covering any anatomy. We're covering just a little bit of the fifth phalange there, as well as some soft tissue on the medial hand there. Yeah, the marker would be better represented right here. It is on the lateral side, which we do like. However, let's see aesthetics. It's a good looking image. It's hung correctly. Remember, we hang wrists, fingers up. It's represented as a right, and it is a right. So yeah, it looks great. So the aesthetics of the actual image are very nice. There's no rotation. We are depicting the entire wrist, along with the the proximal row of metacarpals right there, as well as the distal radius and ulna, where it joins the carpal bones there. All in all, that's a good PA wrist. Okay, move on to an oblique here. Okay, here we've got a right oblique, same patient, and I need to say that the patient name and all that has been omitted, just for good reasons. We don't want somebody's x-ray to be all over the internet. It might make them mad, so we're not going to do that. Okay, let's see position. This is an oblique wrist, right wrist. Okay, it looks like we're oblique fairly well. We're starting to see a little bit of superimposition between the fourth and the fifth metacarpal bones, which is what you want to see. We're starting to see a little bit more space in between the third and the fourth. And we've got good distance between the second and third metacarpals there. Again, we cut off a little bit of the thumb metacarpal. Not the end of the world. Okay. We're rotated correctly. That's about 45 degrees. And the way you can tell that is a superimposition slightly of number 3 and number 4 metacarpals. We've got the joint line here, okay, of the metacarpal phalangeal. We've got the entire row or 2 rows of carpal bones. And we've also got the distal radius and ulna about a third to a quarter to a third. So yeah, good job. So the area is good. Collimation, we're good, especially out here on the outside. We've included what we need to include here. The inside, side to side, we may have collimated a little bit too much where we cut the distal end of the first metacarpal off there. Not the end of the world though. Okay. Exposure wise, we're good. We've got good contrast between the soft tissue and the bone. We've got good bony cortical. We see the intermedullary spaces as well. I don't see a lot of quantum model. It's a good exposure. I like them a little more contrasty. That's just me, but I would never not use this image. So very good 45 degree oblique. Got a right marker. That's very good. It's on the lateral side. It's not sitting on any tissue or body parts, so that's perfect. Aesthetic, yeah, it's a nice image. It's collimated very nicely. We're only looking at what we need to see on a proper wrist X-ray. So very nice. Let's move on to the lateral real quick. Okay. It's a very nice lateral. Position wise, we are in a pretty close to perfect lateral. You can note that the radius is sitting on top of the ulna. Okay, we got the radius right here. Okay. You got the ulna coming up here, crosses the cortical right there, and you can see it completely enveloped below the radius, which is very, very nice. We want those to be superimposed. You're off lateral when you've got some partial overlap of the radius and ulna. So keep an eye on that. We do have some. So yeah, the entire area is there. Positioning is great. Collimation is very nice. We can see a collimation line right here. Okay, very, very good. It's very nicely collimated. Exposure wise, not too bad. Okay, I'm seeing a little bit of quantum model in through here, mostly just because there's a lot of tissue that you need to go through there, and it's a different amount than this to this. So you're going to have a little bit of maybe underexposure here where you're exposed well on the fingers. So a little bit of noise. It's kind of hard to combat that, honestly. But yeah, not bad though. Our contrast is good. Yep, we can see what we needed to see. We can see sharp edges of bone, and we can see soft tissue, and the difference between the both is very nice. So. Okay. Okay. All right. So we're still on the lateral here. Okay. Aesthetically speaking, that is a beautiful lateral wrist X-ray. Very, very nice. I would in no way redo this at all. The marker is correct, aesthetically pleasing. It's hung correctly. Fingers going up. It's depicted as a right, and it is a right. You can hold your hand up in front of you, and it looks the same as that image. It's your right side. That is the right side there. So, remember we did do a video on how to hang X-rays correctly. if you have questions about that, you can go back and watch that, or you can give me a call. Okay. But all in all, good X-ray. Okay. We're going to look at one more here. It's called the ulnar deviation shot. We use this image. It's not protocol, but is a good image to know how to do. Somebody comes in with anatomical snuff box pain, which is one of your carpal bones here. It's called the scaphoid. It's the largest of the carpal bones, and it lays on the lateral row of carpal bones. It is actually this bone right here. It's kind of shaped like a peanut, kind of a funny bone. It is a bone that is commonly fractured. If somebody comes in with scaphoid pain or in that general area, we will try and do an ulnar deviation shot. It's just like a PA, but you're going to roll that wrist out just like that. Okay. And that's what it's depicted in this ulnar deviation shot right here. You'll note that the joint space around the scaphoid here is fairly open. We do have some overlap of the distal end here, or the proximal end of the scaphoid, but that's just due to the shape of the bone. So, but all in all, you've got pretty good joint space here. You'll note how that opened that scaphoid area up, and that's what you're looking to do when you do an ulnar deviation shot. You'll note that it's collimated pretty tightly, which is great. We really want to focus down on the scaphoid area, and we also want to include the distal radius and ulna, and we also want to include the metacarpals here. We don't need to get the end of the metacarpal phalangeal joint there, but as long as the scaphoid carpal bone is clearly depicted in the middle of your image, and you are coned in, you're going to have a really nice picture. The exposure is really nice. We've got really good bony cortical here. Cortici on the end of the bones is starkly different from the soft tissue. So yeah, it's a very, very nice image. Like I said, this is to look at the scaphoid line right here, and it's called the ulnar deviation image. Okay, so I appreciate you guys hanging in with me for this class. We are going to run through every single x-ray that we take, just so you guys know what you need to see on a certain image that you take every single day. But look through these wrist images, know what they look like, and know what they are supposed to be depicting. Become aware of your collimation, what you're including. We know we want to include carpal phalangeal joints here, so our light's going to be above that point. We want to include a quarter to a third of the radius and ulna, right? We want to include the entire medial aspect and lateral aspect, right? Just make sure that you're including what you need to include on your images. That's the reason for this series of tutorials. I hope you found it informative, and we'll probably move up to a forearm next week. I'm going to try and put these out every Wednesday, along with my class, and some weeks it may be a little bit earlier. That's okay, but they will be out weekly. Appreciate everybody's hard work, and I appreciate everybody's willingness to learn X-ray and become proficient with X-ray, and hopefully, in the grand scheme of things, sit for the LSRT board exam and get that license. Excited for you guys. If you have any questions, please reach out. We'll talk to you soon.